Hello, welcome to my video on sourcing for the AP World History exam. My name is Alexis Camarena and let's dive right into this. So, what is sourcing? Sourcing is basically being able to find and explain the significance of the document's point of view, the document's purpose, historical context, and or the audience as it relates to the particular document. Which is basically going to help you correctly and completely answer the prompt given to you for the DBQ portion of the test. So document-based question, you're going to receive a lot of documents that you need to analyze and interpret. So sourcing is really going to help you understand the documents, and that is going to help you provide stronger interpretation of the documents when you're using them as evidence. So this is what really helps you stand out. A good understanding equals a good essay, a good answer to the prompt. And a lot of people may be afraid of sourcing. They might think it's too complicated, but in reality it's very simple when you break it down. So that's what we're going to do. Point of view, this is one of the elements to sourcing. What I want you guys to do is to ask yourself who the speaker is and how their background impacts their perspectives. You need to understand the reasoning for writing the document, and this really helps you understand it more. You're not going to see an athlete write about a scientific discovery. You're most likely going to see a scientist writing about a scientific discovery. The scientist's background allows you to actually connect to the document and be like, okay, so they're probably really focused on the subject they're talking about and they really care about it, so this is why they're writing it. If you saw an athlete writing about a scientific discovery, you're going to be really confused. It's not really logical, but that's something to keep in mind. This is why you also ask, like, why is the document from their point of view? Why did the scientists write it? Well, they're probably studying that field of science and they found something really important. Why didn't someone else write it? Because only that person could write about it. Only through their perspective can we see the purpose of the actual work, the theme, the central theme. All right. So now let's move forward into purpose. So understanding the reason why the author wrote their work. Just like we just mentioned, it allows you to understand the bigger meaning, the theme, and it gives you extra analysis in order to pass the DBQ section. So you're going to ask yourself, why did the author write this? Why during this time period? Imagine someone found the cure for cancer while cancer is rapidly spreading throughout the United States, for example. The person writing the document explaining a cure for cancer wrote it because of the extreme chaos that the cancer is emitting among the United States. So what is the document trying to achieve? Is trying to help out, trying to solve a problem that's currently happening. This is why you need to understand the purpose of the document in its time period, right? So these are some questions to ask yourself while you're reading. It really helps you out. So historical context and situation. When you read a document, it's really easy to understand it when you have a sense of knowledge, context of what that document is doing within that time period. It really allows you to understand the impact it's having. So like I was just giving you as an example of the cancer example, right? What's the historical context? Well, cancer is rapidly spreading throughout the United States. It's causing a lot of mayhem, chaos, death. So if we know about that, we know why the scientist is writing about the cure for cancer. That gives us an understanding of why the document is important during that period. So For this reason, it's important for you to know your history from the time periods that the AP World History is set in. I do have another video where I talk about what you need to know for the AP World History exam. So if you guys want to go check that out, that'll really get you started on what you need to know, what history you need to know in order to pass the AP World History exam. Now, audience. So you guys have to identify the person or group of people that the author intended to inform or influence. How does this impact the author's message? So here's another example. A student writes a speech about the negatives of a school at a school district meeting, right? You can likely infer that the speaker most likely wants to persuade someone in power, like the superintendent, so that they could change the negatives so that the school can prosper. Identifying the audience as the superintendent allows to understand that this speech was meant to ask for aid, right? This is the purpose of it. Why did they want to write it? Because they needed help. If we read this speech without knowing who it was going towards, we'd just be reading about someone complaining about their school. That's basically what it'd be. But when we know who it's aimed towards, we know, okay, they're complaining because they want aid, they want help, So using this into the DBQs, the document, you're able to understand why the document is being made. Why was it made, and who was it meant for? And that really allows you to go beyond just the text evidence of the actual document. So now, soapstone. This is another simple way to, while reading your documents, go through what all the elements that I just went through. So, soapstone acronym: speaker, occasion, audience, purpose, subject, and tone. While reading, keep all this in mind, and you'll be speaker. So you're gonna know, okay, so who's speaking? What are the author? Who are they? What's their background? Right? What we just went over. Occasion. What's going on at this time period? Why did this scientist write about cancer? Oh, well, during that time, cancer was spreading and really killing a lot of people, right? That's the occasion of that. Audience, we just went over that. Who is it written for? Why is it written for them? This is going to really help you quickly identify all this stuff. Purpose, why is the author writing this? Subject, what is it about? Tone, what is the overall tone? Like, is the author happy, mad? This really helps you understand in what way the document is being shared, what they want, their purpose. So this is a great acronym, and it really helps you understand the document as a whole, and this really helps you to intelligently interpret the document, right? So what to do? So now that we looked at what you need to look out for, you need to be able to use it, right? You just went through all your documents, and you know what you need to, all of this, the significance of all of it, but now you need to use it. So what I'm gonna tell you right now is that before reading thoroughly throughout your documents, skim the documents, your sources, to get an idea of what each one is about. They're not all going to fit your prompt. So when you skim your documents, you'll be able to find which ones will fit the prompt, and those are the ones you're going to read thoroughly. So when you're reading them, you have to annotate and make sure to make notes of the topics we just went over. So read over them and use the acronym soapstone to find like the point of view, the purpose, the historical situation, the audience. And by the time you're done reading your documents, you'll have a really good understanding of what each one is about. And what that's going to allow you to do is connect them to the prompt and allow you to explain their significance in the documents. So it might sound really complicated being able to connect all this information to the prompt, but it could be really simple. We're going to get into that in just a moment, but I just want to hit another point. This isn't directly related to sourcing, but it's related to the entirety of the DBQ. Just make sure you keep track of your time, because if you spend too much time on one part of the DBQ, you're not gonna have enough time for the other parts, and you're gonna end up rushing the rest of it. And this really sets a lot of people back because it really limits the greatness of what they could have done if they had enough time. So just make sure you pace yourself. So we're just gonna go to the website. This is the official College Board rubrics for the DBQ. So here we have thesis, contextualization, evidence. So we're gonna skip all this and we're gonna go to analysis and reasoning. Okay, you could score 2 points out of this one. There's sourcing, what we're gonna go into, and complexity. So let's ignore that for now. We're gonna get into sourcing. So this is the official rubric for the DBQ, and in sourcing, what it says is for at least 3 documents, you have to explain how or why the document's point of view, purpose, historical situation, and or audience is relevant to an argument. So we just went over all of this, so don't even worry about that. You already know what you need to do for that. So to earn this point, you must explain, right? This is the keyword right here, explain, rather than simply identify. Okay, so don't just say, okay, so the author is this person and this is their background. Be like, okay, the author, for example right here, as a politician, Sir Henry Norman is critical of Britain's continuing to sleep in terms of responding to Russian imperial expansion in East Asia, blah blah blah. See, they're analyzing, they're elaborating, they're basically explaining how Sir Henry Norman, his background, his point of view, how it relates to the topic. Okay, instead of just saying, so Sir Henry Norman is a politician. See, that's what you're trying to avoid. Okay, don't simply identify what it is, but explain, elaborate, and show that you understand the document, right? So that's why we went over the whole soapstone and all the other elements, because you really need to have an understanding of the document so you can interpret it. You know, you can't just simply identify it as they just said right here. So once you do that, you got a good point right here. That's basically what you're going to be doing for the DBQ sourcing, and it's good to not stress it too much. Just make sure you have practices. I was able to get this rubric off of the internet, just searching up AP World History Modern DBQ, and it just pops up. So what I would advise you guys to do is to make sure you practice. You know, go online and find practice DBQs, past DBQs off the actual College Board website, and you know, skim through the text and practice your sourcing. You know, just practice and practice. Once you have enough practice, as I said, you'll be able to quickly identify the point of view, the purpose, the historical situation, the audience, and it's going to come to you really quick. And when you actually take the exam, the real one, it's going to be a breeze. You know, you're not going to be stressing. You know what to do. You know how to elaborate, how to interpret it, and you'll be all set. So that's all for the video. We just went over sourcing, and yeah, I hope this was helpful to you guys, and I hope you guys stay tuned for many other videos. Yeah, so see you in the next one.